Welcome to an overview of the Mojave Water Agency. Known as the MWA, here is a quick explanation of its role in the Mojave Desert region. By the 1950s, it was clear California's population was increasing rapidly, and for these rapidly growing communities to sustain themselves, local leaders knew a new system of supplying water was needed. A 1959 ballot measure known as the Burns-Porter Act was approved by voters, and soon construction began on what is now known as the State Water Project. Construction began that year and was completed around 1972. It was and still is the largest state-built water project in our nation. Local elections were held throughout the state to determine which regions would participate in and have access to the new water source from the SWP. So in 1960, the MWA was approved by voters to represent our region, and along with 28 other agencies, now has access to State Water Project water. These agencies can provide water from the SWP to users within their boundaries, like local water districts. This map shows the Mojave Water Agency service area, and you will see some of the communities that lie within the boundary. Can you find your general area? The boundaries stretch all the way from Red Mountain in the north to the Los Angeles County line in the west. The southern boundary is along the San Gabriel and San Bernardino Mountains and over to Joshua Tree in the east. Living in a desert, you might think that water is scarce, but in the Mojave Desert region served by the MWA, there is a significant natural supply. The northern side of the San Bernardino Mountains drains a considerable amount of rain and snowmelt into the Mojave River, creating a natural water supply large enough to sustain various uses throughout the Mojave Desert. Eventually, natural supplies were insufficient to support increasing demand within the MWA service area, and overdraft conditions in the early 90s meant more water was being pumped out of the ground than the natural supply had provided, even prompting communities in the Morongo Basin to establish a 5-year building moratorium. To lift the moratorium, MWA agreed to build the Morongo Basin Pipeline to purchase and deliver State Water Project water to recharge basins in the Morongo Basin. At the start of the project, the MWA advantageously enlarged the pipeline capacity, increasing productivity at the Mojave River, where an outlet, the Rock Springs outlet, gave us the means to import water to the Victor Valley. This was the first major construction effort initiated by the MWA, and the pipeline was completed in 1995. Water enters the pipeline in Hesperia at the California Aqueduct and travels over 70 miles to recharge basins for the communities of Joshua Tree and Yucca Valley. This milestone for the MWA enabled the agency to begin fulfilling its mission to provide a sustainable supply for communities within its boundaries. During the 1990s, as the Victor Valley continued to grow, there was more water being taken out of local aquifers than could be naturally replenished, so not enough water was flowing downstream serving communities in the Barstow area. A solution was implemented by the MWA to maintain a sustainable water supply for downstream users. In 1996, construction began on the 76-mile-long Mojave River Pipeline, delivering water from the California Aqueduct to recharge points along the Mojave River. Water enters at the recharge points and percolates to water wells that were already servicing the Victor Valley and communities downstream. The new pipeline was completed in 2006, providing access to previously untapped SWP water supplies that could serve downstream users. The Mojave Water Agency was now able to supply water to support agriculture, housing, jobs, and industry to a growing community. Now, whether we have a dry year or a wet year, the MWA can manage the flow of water from the aqueduct for the common benefit of the citizens it serves. Without the foresight of the local residents who voted in 1960 to create the MWA, this connection to the State Water Project would not have been possible. Another important role of Mojave Water Agency is to promote water conservation. The MWA works with water retailers serving consumers to educate the public on how and why to conserve water. This is an ongoing and never-ending effort. An example of one conservation program is Cash for Grass. The MWA administers a program in cooperation with local water districts that pays consumers for square feet of grass they remove and replace with desert landscaping. Working as part of a regional conservation group, the Alliance for Water Awareness and Conservation, or AWAC, a goal of water use reduction was set at 20% by the year 2020. The state of California then adopted the same goal only 5 years later. Continued direction focused on long-term regional planning, sound fiscal management strategies, and conscious transparency has positioned the Mojave Desert region to be prepared to meet present and future water challenges. By constantly looking to the future for what new projects, programs, and services should be added to serve the region, we prepare to meet potential challenges. The latest major construction project that the MWA started in 2010 was the Regional Recharge and Recovery Project, or R-Cubed. R-Cubed will deliver water from the California Aqueduct to multiple water agencies, taking advantage of opportunities to obtain new water supplies. The bottom line, however, is that this allows the MWA to prepare our region for interrupted deliveries from the State Water Project, from droughts, reduced water delivery from the aqueduct due to environmental constraints, or if the aqueduct is temporarily shut down due to damage sustained by an earthquake or other natural disaster. Thankfully, the forward-thinking leadership of the Mojave Water Agency Board of Directors has helped to plan, prepare, and position the agency for purchasing additional state water project rights and for entering into water banking and water transfer agreements with other water agencies in the state. For more information on the Mojave Water Agency or any of the projects you've seen in this video, please visit our website or our Facebook page, or you can give us a call at the number on your screen. Watch for future videos from the Mojave Water Agency because MWA is making water available.